city of Nairobi. So I want to convey my sincere condolences on behalf of my people and wish the family a befitting send-off as they send him to rest. Secondly, I also want to convey my sincere condolences to Austin Origi, the Gor Mahia footballer. On behalf of the people of Kitutu Church North, I never knew him, but he was a footballer. He's one of those people who made sure that our country in terms of football is in the map. So I want to convey my sincere condolences on behalf of my people. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
The Chair of the Departmental Committee on Education, the Honorable Julius Meli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand on behalf of the people of Tindret to convey my sincere condolences to the late Honorable Suleiman Murunga, whom we served together in the 11th Parliament. As indicated by my colleagues, Honorable Murunga was a man of, was a humble leader, an astute politician, and more importantly, a businessman par excellence, in the sense that on issues that he had in this city, Mr. Speaker, he actually did his work well. I want to convey my condolences to the family, the people of Kimilili, and to this current sitting member of parliament, because he has lost his constituent and a former member of parliament. On Austin Odwor, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. Austin and the ilk of this time played with a lot of passion, a lot of commitment, with a lot of patriotism that the current generation need to emulate a lot. That even the football fraternity in this country, if they had picked from the time of Austin, this country would be at the level of the international community. We want to laud them, and we want to pass the condolences to the family, the relatives, and to the football fraternity of this country for the loss of Austin Odwor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And lastly, the Honorable Onyango Koyo, MP for Moroni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to seize this opportunity to pass my reserved condolences on behalf of myself and the people of Moroni for the sad loss of my colleague, former Member of Parliament for Kimilili, Honorable Suleiman Murunga. I knew Suleiman Murunga as a banker, then later on as a businessman in Nairobi, and he did us very proud because for a long time it was mistaken that only members of one community were the good businessmen who could run their business successfully in Nairobi. But Murunga came and corrected this ill and started his business and pushed it very far that he had a lot of success in his businesses, and he went a long way to employ people from up country and within and without Kenya. I want to pass my condolences. This will be a second stage because I was present when we were holding a rampe for the departed soul of Austin Odwor of Gor Mahia. I said that I cut my political teeth from Gor Mahia because as they were playing, we were the young outfit that were guarding the players. And I knew Austin very closely, very, very closely, as a very dedicated player. He had a lot of self-discipline, and the man who gave his all to his country, his team and his country. I was closely associated with the team that won, the Gor Mahia team that won the Mandela Cup in 1987, and Austin Odwor was the captain. He captained Gor Mahia to success, and he was there for a very long time. It was a very trying moment for him because, you know, the Luos believed if he wanted to be in serious, he was aspiring for serious leadership in this country, more so in Luoland or the towns, you had to have something to do with Gor Mahia.
So, honorable members, on behalf of the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, together with the tributes already registered by the members who have spoken, we condole the families of these two Kenyan patriots, the Honorable Wanami, not Wanami, but the Honorable Suleiman Kasuti Murunga and Mr. Austin Oduor Origi, the patriots who contributed in their great ways in serving this country. May God strengthen the families, may God comfort the families. And in their last honor, honorable members, I wanted to request all of us to be upstanding in for 1 minute silence. May God rest their souls in eternal peace. So the statement by the Honorable Member for Aldai next, the Honorable Marianne Kitany MP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the rise of insecurity in Aldai constituency. Honorable Speaker, Article 29 of the Constitution provides that every person has a right to freedom and security. Sadly, there has been a recent rise of insecurity in Aldai constituency caused by a recent change in security personnel at the sub-county level. The shift has led to the incidences of unexplained cases of cattle rustling and murder. For instance, Mr. Elkanah Kiplagat Mugun of ID number 0447870 was murdered on Thursday, the 31st October 2024, while returning home from work. On 13th of October 2024, Ms. Felista Chelimo of ID number 323-21228 from Chebonge village in Mgwen constituency was also murdered at Kundos Bridge in Koyondurio ward in Aldai constituency. Additionally, there have been rising cases of cattle theft or cattle rustling, with a recent case of about 30 herds of cattle, which was stolen from 4 different homes. These incidences have left the families in the state of fear and agony. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, a report on the status of investigation into the incidences of insecurity, including the deaths of Mr. Elkanah Kiplagat Mugun and Ms. Felista Chelimo. 2 is the actions being taken to ensure the perpetrators of crimes are arrested and prosecuted without delay. And 3, the measures being put in place to curb insecurity and cattle rustling in the constituency. And finally, a report on the recent changes in security personnel at the sub-county level and whether the insecurity incidences being experienced currently could be linked to the changes. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chair, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Affairs, the Honorable Dido Raso.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this morning we had an extensive discussion with the Inspector General and the commanders of the National Police Service. And the major reason of our discussion, to the extent that we went into camera, was to address the issues of rising insecurity that we believe is being perpetrated by criminal syndicates. Honorable Speaker, I have heard the MP for Aldai, what she has raised, and I request you give us 2 weeks and we'll be able to provide a comprehensive answer to our statement. Meanwhile, I must add that the police are generally doing a good job, but we have also seen within the police an element of rogue elements. Either they are not doing their job or they are acting outside the law. But that is a discussion for another time. But considering her statement is important, we must address it as a committee, and we request for 2 weeks. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Marianne Keitany.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. 2 weeks is adequate. I know one of the persons murdered belongs to Mgwen constituency, so maybe he may want to also say something.
Yeah, the Honorable Jose Lelmungiri have just told me that this is a lady from his constituency, murdered in your constituency. And I was just telling him that in terms of procedure, it would be better we wait for the statement coming from the relevant agency to come so that we can engage deeply. And I hope you agree, because for now it is just for you to confirm that 2 weeks would be good for you to get that report from the police. And I can confirm to you that I also sit in that committee. So what the vice chair of the committee has said about the investigations which were going on this morning, I can confirm I sat through.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks would be good because tomorrow I'm attending the funeral for one of them, and it would be nice for the public to know that action is being taken. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MP for Mgwen, what is burning so much?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I just wanted to contribute on this issue that Honorable Marianne raised concerning Philista Jebet, who was murdered. Honorable Speaker, the lady was an innocent lady. She comes from a very humble background. I don't know even how the family is coping up to date. So I was requesting also, as we wait for two weeks, we need a detailed report on what the government, through the Ministry of Security, is doing. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The statement will be given in 2 weeks through the chair of the departmental committee concerned. The Honorable Irene Mayaka, MP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to give a general statement regarding recognition of Honorable Hulda Momanyi Hitsley. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 25-2B, I rise with great pride to notify the House of the incredible achievement of the Honorable Hulda Momanyi Hitsley on her historic victory of being elected as a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives, USA, in the recent elections. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Hitsley's success is a shining example of courage and determination, and it brings immense pride not only to her community, but to the entire nation of Kenya on the unlimited potential of our people to achieve greatness beyond our borders. Her achievements resonate far beyond Minnesota. It is a profound inspiration to women leaders across Africa and Kenya, especially those who aspire to make an impact in public service. Her journey from Nyemiso Village, Magombo Ward, Nyamira County in Kenya to a prominent legislative position in the United States of America demonstrates that with ambition, resilience, and hard work, there are no limits to what one can achieve. Honorable Speaker, her victory signals an important step forward for gender inclusion in politics, showing that the barriers of women's leaderships can and must be broken. The Honorable Hitsley stands as a role model for young women and girls everywhere who dream of creative, positive change within their community and beyond. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wholeheartedly congratulate the Honorable Momanyi Hitsley on a well-deserved success, and I'm doing this on my own behalf and on behalf of the MP for Kitutu Masaba, Clive Gisairo, and the entire Omogusi Nation, and wish her every success in the Minnesota House of Representatives. May her leadership continue to inspire future generations of African women and girls to pursue their goals with confidence and purpose. And Honorable Speaker, today when I was speaking to the Honorable Lady, she did express a message of cooperation to each and every Kenyan leader within these borders and beyond, and she promises to work with each one of us and invites all of you to Minnesota. Honorable Speaker, I thank you, and I wish to ask for your indulgence to allow some of the members to also express their appreciations, because you can see the kind of joy that is here, that Minnesota is also part of us. I thank you.
I will allow a few of us to record their recognitions and appreciation, not congratulations, for this great achievement by a Kenyan, a born Kenyan in the United States of America. No, she's Kenyan. She's Kenyan. The minority whip, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, if you're talking today, unless you're speaking with an American accent, you're not going to be allowed to speak here. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that on behalf of the people of Suba North and the Kenyans at large, I just want to congratulate Honorable Hulda for this win. Mr. Speaker, she is a Kenyan immigrant who has gone to the United States of America. And Mr. Speaker, unless you're able to speak the way I'm speaking today, you have no business going to the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, on a more serious note, Mr. Speaker, on a more serious note, I want to say that I'm very happy.
Honorable Millie Mabona, the standing order provisions are clear.
Yes.
You start in a language, you continue in that language to the end. So can you continue?
Mr. Speaker, I can actually finish in this language because as a graduate of New York University, Mr. Speaker, and I can actually tell you that one talent that the Lord God has given me is that I pick accents wherever I go. So if I go into Kisii, I will speak Kisii accent. And if I go into the United States of America, I will speak American accent. And Mr. Speaker, I can tell you just before I came here, I was listening to Hulda, and I think that's what has actually influenced the way I'm speaking right now. But Mr. Speaker, now let me go back as a member of Suba North. And as a member of Suba North, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that Hulda is the first Kenyan born to be actually elected in the United States of America. And Mr. Speaker, we know that Obama was elected, and his father is from Kogelo. But actually, Obama was not born in Kenya. Even though that was an issue in America, they were trying to say that he was born in Kenya. But his father was born in Kenya. But Hulda is Kenyan born who has been elected. As a woman in Kenya, I am extremely proud. And especially for those of us who are rooting especially for Honorable Kamala, even though I know you are a Trump guy, but we were rooting for Kamala Harris, and because she didn't win, at least this is something that gives us a little bit of consolation. And even though we know that America is still a little behind in terms of democratization, in Kenya we are setting the pace. And we are telling America's followers soon, because even in terms of representation of women, we are ahead. America may have been ahead in democracy, but Africa is fast overtaking America, and we are going to tell them how things are done. And while they are still playing, we will have the first Kenyan to be born. Mr. Speaker, I know my time is up, but I just want to say that you saw that they also play Kanungo, because they realized that all Kenyans were behind her. She's a Kisii, and we celebrate that the Kisii produced somebody excellent. But you know the Kisii, Abagusi, Abasuba, Abamili, we are all there, Mr. Speaker, and we are happy.
Our minority whip is so learned and so widely gifted. The Honorable Silvanus Osoro, our majority whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I may not be lucky. My Kisii accent won't allow me to speak like Honorable Millie, but I want to join my colleagues, Honorable Millie and Honorable Rene Mayaka, in congratulating the good lady, Honorable Momanyi, for winning her seat. Honorable Speaker, I have had 2 encounters with the Honorable Momanyi in the United States of America. The first encounter was when I went to the US in Texas on or about 2023, when we started upon the transition, I think we were with Honorable Bai at that time. And the Gusii community that lives in the US requested to have a meeting with me. And Honorable Momanyi came, and it was actually in Texas, all the way from Minnesota. And then she came, though they say Minnesota, but she came all the way from Minnesota to Texas, where we had a meeting, and she actually acted as an MC. At that point, nobody would notice that she would become anything, Honorable Speaker. Fast forward, in the recent visit by His Excellency the President to Washington, D.C., I was privileged to accompany His Excellency the President. And while in the White House, that tall, slender lady, very beautiful, approached me again and told me, "You remember me?" I told her I couldn't. I mean, I can't remember you. Then she told me, "If you don't mind, we perhaps could have some, omogusi delicacy today at the Swahili restaurant in Washington, D.C. She treated us alongside Honorable Pio and I, who was then the minority leader, for dinner, and now CS, Honorable Speaker, over dinner. And it's at that point, Honorable Speaker, that she told us that she's going for that seat. In fact, if Honorable Pio was to be here today, he would have told you that nobody saw it coming. Because the way she expressed her interest and with simplicity, you wouldn't imagine that at the end of the day, she will garner 65% to become victorious in that particular place. Honorable Speaker, that shows that no person is limited. We all have something that you can achieve. We all have some self-drive that really drives us towards achieving something. But what stood out yesterday, Honorable Speaker, when she was being interviewed by one of the local media houses, Honorable Speaker, is that she's not lost her identity. That she still speaks in Swahili and she still speaks in Ekegusi. That in itself, Honorable Speaker, is quite, appealing. When we have people who go to study in India, Honorable Speaker, when they come back, it's funny. When people go to the US, they come back with American accent. But when people go to India, they refuse to own the Indian accent of speaking in English. It is usually very funny. But even then, even with that very heavy accent, Honorable Speaker, she still speaks very well in Ekegusi language, owning that identity. That is something very commendable, Honorable Speaker. And that shows, Honorable Speaker, that we need to appreciate our cultures. We need to own up to where we've come and our history and our ties. And what I'll tell Honorable Speaker is that the sky is the limit. I see the first female president of the United States of America in Honorable Huldah Momanyi. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Donya Doris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For clarity, yes, I'm a Kenyan, but it is good to be proud of your language. Huldah Momanyi is Kisi, yes. Born in Nyamira, yes. Omogusi. Yes. If you hear of Huldah, the name Heslel, that is for the husband, but Momanyi is Kisi. Then she reminds us of the likes of Maraga, former Chief Justice, Senior Chief, the late Simeon Nyachai. Those are Kisses. We are just proud. Kenyans, nothing is out of order when you recognize your people, Mr. Speaker. It is not wrong. We were proud to say we are Kenyans. The only thing, as I stand to appraise Huldah, is just to say, despite having these beautiful leaders, having good schools in Kisii, like Nyambaria High, which was leading in the last KCSE, let me just say, we lack water, we lack electricity, so that when Huldah will be coming, maybe she might have a donation for us, for our people, to have boreholes. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, it is good when you get this opportunity. Fix something small for your people. So we are very happy. We danced the whole night. And in fact, now I'm urging Kisii women to have more babies and name them Huldah. So honorable male members, Honorable Soro, you work hard so that your mother in the house can produce Huldah. More girls, we need more children, courtesy of Huldah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, we will allow the compliments to be recorded in not more than 2 minutes. Except for the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who will speak next for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also rise to congratulate our very eloquent and intelligent lady in the US. And Honorable Speaker, this goes to show that the human capital in Kenya is actually the best in the world. When you travel even outside of Kenya, in any region of the world, you are likely to get the best professionals, being the people of Kenya. And not just in politics, Honorable Speaker. If you go, for example, across Africa, everywhere we have had resets of economies, even Rwanda. Currently, if you go to Ethiopia, they are setting up their financial market. You find that it is the Kenyan people who are doing that. But, Honorable Speaker, even on that, I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the President-elect, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. The reason why, Honorable Speaker, if you go through history, Republicans are always better in terms of policies in regards to Kenya, in regards to Africa, and the entire global South. Because, Honorable Speaker, what the global South economies we need, like Kenya, is not tokenism. What we want is a thriving economy of the world. And that only happens, Honorable Speaker, when the US is responding. And I want to be empirical. The previous administration, Honorable Speaker, they have had to raise the Fed rate, the interest rate in the Federal Reserve, for 11 times consecutively, from barely 0% to 0.05% to 5.25%, Honorable Speaker. This may sound like jargons, but the ramifications are here in this parliament. When we are allocating money, and we find we are allocating a lot of money for debt, some of this money we allocate for debt service, Honorable Speaker, is based on the interest rate. And the interest rate in the Fed also percolates to our own capital markets. It is usually said, Honorable Speaker, that when the economy of the world sneezes or coughs, the other economies catch cold. And I want to believe that going forward, the United States will be more responsible in exercise of their power, and especially given the fact that their currency is the global reserve. And, Honorable Speaker, the same reason we saw yesterday, after the win, we saw the markets across the world responding. We saw Dow Jones, we saw all the global markets responding positively, because every person in the world knows that Republicans are better for the economy of the world, are better for the global South, and we look for very good.
Why did you disconnect Honorable Ndindi Nyoro when talking about Trump?
Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, I was just trying to say, history, we say that the laboratory of economics is history. And the only place to see how things work is to look at how they have worked before. If you compare democratic regimes in terms of the Democrats and the Republican regimes, you find that when there are Republicans in power in the US, the economies of the global South perform better. And the more the reason, because this is known, that we see, Honorable Speaker, after the win by the Republicans, we saw a response, a positive response in the markets in the US and across the world. But there is only one pitfall, Honorable Speaker, as I finish. Again, when there is sentiment of a strengthening economy in the US, we'll have a tendency of dollar becoming stronger. Unfortunately, when the dollar becomes stronger, it means it is in respect to other currencies. But I want to report to this House, even looking at the tendency of our Kenya shillings against the greenback from yesterday, it shows the Kenyan fundamentals have been grounded, and the more the reason we have seen, even when the dollar is strengthening, our shilling is also strengthening. And lastly, we also hope the United States will also not bring about a lot of economic wars, and especially with China. We do not expect to see the kind of tariff wars because they also affect our economies. So we expect that going forward, we'll see sunshine where the same US economy have poured cold water in the economies. We foresee, Honorable Speaker, that going forward, we will have warmth in the economies like Kenya, and we will see progress across all the economies of the world. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chair, Budget Appropriations Committee. The Honorable Jerusha Mumanyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. for giving me this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, so that I can also celebrate this brilliant girl who is called Hulda Nyamitsa. It's another name because I know she comes from my village. She's called Nyamitsa Momanyi. And you also know that I am Momanyi Jerusha. That means we share that name from the same parents. I want to congratulate this girl because she acknowledged that we are not even able to explain. We are so happy. The people of Nyamira are so happy. The people of Kenya are so...
And it really is not a preserve of the Honorable Jerusha Momanyi. They are not related. They just come from the same area. Thank you very much.
Honorable Osoro, for the avoidance of doubt, in Africa we don't have cousins.
Yeah, we
don't.
We
are brothers and sisters. So continue, Honorable Jerusha Momanyi.
Sure, Honorable Speaker, thank you for informing Osoro. Osoro should know that whoever is called your name and who comes from your village, that is your sister or your brother. I'm so grateful that Hulda
give Honorable Jerusha Momanyi 1 minute to conclude. This is her sister. She's talking about
her. We are so happy. That is why Osoro is also excited like I am excited. I want to urge every Kenyan who is living anywhere in this world to come up and ask for elective posts because we have been proven as Kenyans and as Nyamirans that we are so happy and we know how to do the work. Wherever we have been given the job, we do. It is because of the hard work of Hulda, because of high resilience and the love that she had for his people. That's why she has been elected. We wish her the best. We wish her success as she moves along. And we know from her we have the future president. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
the Honorable Anthony Kibagendi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also get to congratulate my sister, Hulda Momanyi. Hulda Momanyi is an excellent community leader who understands that leadership is not about taking advantage of people, but making a difference right where you are, right where you're planted. She is the immediate former chair lady of the Mwanyagetinge community group in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Park. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I visited Minnesota some time back, Honorable Speaker, I got a chance to be introduced to this wonderful lady by a gentleman called Sami Reri. And it is in that time that this lady was again preparing to run for a seat around Brooklyn Park, where she wasn't successful. And because of her resilience and her determination, she has gotten an opportunity to be elected. And I believe this wonderful lady, who has consistently shifted from seeking societal legitimacy or validation to constructing what I can call a meaningful legacy through bringing together the Kenyan communities living in Minnesota and the African communities. We have a lot of Liberians, we have a lot of people from Somali, and the Kenyan community there that she has put together to fight for their rights. So we appreciate her, and we hope this wonderful lady will go on to become an even bigger star and rise even.
The Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Allow me also to ride on and to appreciate Honorable Mayaka for just allowing us to celebrate a Kenyan lady, Hulda, Mr. Speaker, who has also broken a record that she vied on a party of Democratic Farmer Labor Party. I just want to tell her, you went the Kenyan way, which is an affiliate of the Democrats Party, Mr. Speaker. But to really say that this is one lady who also was against a librarian woman, it shows the resilience of the immigrants and that they are committed to build America and make America great. And I am hoping President Trump will be able to appreciate Africa, that he will look in his eyes and realize we are people who love people the way the Republicans do. And so for me, as she goes into the Congress with her values of equitable in housing, access to health, that we shall see a good policy on reproductive health from the Republicans, and that they will remember the embassy that we have now, where many Kenyans have gone and suffered at the embassy. And we need to have a policy, Speaker, that says if indeed I'm not going to get my visa, then they can charge us consultancy. And I'm hoping the Republicans will do that and refund people money the way we have lost money at the embassy of the US. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Jabet Nyakundi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to ride on Honorable Mayaka in congratulating Huldah Momanyi in being elected in the House of Representatives in Minnesota, to be specific, Minneapolis. Everything is fine. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate him, and to congratulate him most sincerely, because this clearly shows that women have space in leadership, and this clearly shows that the Kenyan labor market is workable outside this country. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate her and tell the women of this country that you have a space in leadership wherever you are. Come out as women leaders, come out as women in society to ask for leadership positions, because I believe that women are the best leaders outside here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here just to celebrate, because when you look at her photo, she looks like me. Yes. And she is so daring, being a black woman, being black and being a woman and an immigrant, making it in the United States. I hope when Trump says he is going to deport people, he is not going to deport our Huldah. Otherwise, there will be trouble. The whole world will stop, because racism in today's world should not be encouraged. So I hope by her being elected in that parliament, she is going to calm Trump, so Trump cannot do whatever he said. Yes. Two, I want to also say
Osoro, what is out of order?
that Osoro just wants to interfere.
Sit, take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, is the honorable member in order to impute improper motives on the president-elect of the United States of America, the 45th and the 47th president, President Trump, elected by the majority, who's won all the seats in all levels? Is she in order to impute improper motive that he wants to deport and intends to deport Huldah? I mean, can she table evidence? It is not possible. In fact, if it was Kamala, she could have deported Huldah.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Catherine Omanyo, remember the United States of America is a friendly nation.
Trump's policy, one of the policy, was to deport immigrants. I am only quoting what President Trump said. It is in his policy. I beg Honorable Soro to go and read.
The policy of President Trump
is to deport immigrants.
Is to deport illegal immigrants, not all immigrants. Least of all
have now, where many Kenyans have gone and suffered at the embassy. And we need to have a policy, Speaker, that says if indeed I'm not going to get my visa, then they can charge us consultancy. And I'm hoping the Republicans will do that and refund people money the way we have lost money at the embassy of the US. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Jabat Nyakundi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to ride on Honorable Mayaka in congratulating Huldah Momanyi in being elected in the House of Representatives in Minnesota, to be specific, Minneapolis. Everything is fine. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate him, and to congratulate him most sincerely, because this clearly shows that women have space in leadership, and this clearly shows that the Kenyan labor market is workable outside this country. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate her and tell the women of this country that you have a space in leadership wherever you are. Come out as women leaders, come out as women in society to ask for leadership positions, because I believe that women are the best leaders outside here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here just to celebrate, because when you look at her photo, she looks like me. Yes. And she is so daring, being a black woman, being black and being a woman and an immigrant, making it in the United States. I hope when Trump says he is going to deport people, he is not going to deport our Huldah. Otherwise, there will be trouble. The whole world will stop, because racism in today's world should not be encouraged. So I hope by her being elected in that parliament, she is going to calm Trump, so Trump cannot do whatever he said. Yes. Two, I want to also say
Osoro, what is out of order?
that Osoro just wants to interfere.
Sit, take your seat.
Honorable Speaker, is the honorable member in order to impute improper motives on the president-elect of the United States of America, the 45th and the 47th president, President Trump, elected by the majority, who's won all the seats in all levels? Is she in order to impute improper motive that he wants to deport and intends to deport Huldah? I mean, can she table evidence? It is not possible. In fact, if it was Kamala, she would have deported Huldah.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Catherine Omanyo, remember the United States of America is a friendly nation.
Trump's policy, one of the policy, was to deport immigrants. I am only quoting what President Trump said. It is in his policy. I beg Honorable Soro to go and read.
The policy of President Trump
is to deport immigrants.
Is to deport illegal immigrants, not all immigrants. Least of all, no president of the United States can deport.
Is a Kenyan who happens to have gone abroad and gotten elected. So let us all celebrate as Kenyans.
Minority Whip, the nature of this engagement does not allow any more point of order. The Honorable Dido Raso, you want to say something in recognition of this excellence?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I join my colleagues in congratulating Hilda. In fact, last year in October, that is 2023, we visited the Minnesota State Parliament, and she was among those who conducted us. Actually, for the first time, we were able to see firsthand that the three arms of government can sit in the same building. And also, during that time, we were told that she was working closely with the governor of that state. She has broken the glass ceiling because per se she's not an American, she is a Kenyan American. And for her to discover those new horizons, then it means it is not a mean feat, it is a great achievement. So we congratulate her. She is not a Kenyan, now she is an American. So thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, because the Honorable Chepkonga is engaged, I want to give, so do so in the shortest time possible. After that, we are going to the statement by the Honorable Mulyungi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am speaking for and on behalf of Honorable Makilap. There's nothing, you are not biased. I am speaking on his behalf.
Did I hear a member to shout that the presiding officer is biased?
No, you are not biased.
Could that member have the courage to stand when the speaker is up and say so? Yeah, the speaker is never biased. The speaker is an impartial, neutral, presiding officer of the House. Yes. Honorable Chepkonga will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from Honorable Makilap and Honorable Mili? You know, Honorable Mili, she's a very good lawyer, and she should maintain that integrity. You don't want to lose it.
Honorable Chepkonga will be heard in silence.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, may I take this opportunity to congratulate Representative Hulda Momanyi. You know, I see people calling honorable. She's called Representative Hulda Momanyi. Mr. Speaker, you know, this tells you that the American dream is real. It is the land of the opportunity, where a Kenyan would go to the US and be elected. Mr. Speaker, I just want to remind you that the first Kenyan American president, Barack Obama, was elected the 43rd president of the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, I was in Minnesota, the twin city of Minnesota and Minneapolis in 1997. I was there for 5 weeks. At that time, Mr. Speaker, I was taken around by the Kisi community. At that time, Mr. Speaker, there were over 10,000 Kisis about 27 years ago. Mr. Speaker, and you know they were giving birth. So as we speak today, there must be in the region of 50,000. So electing a House of Representative person is easy, Mr. Speaker. And we want to congratulate those Kisis who live in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Mr. Speaker. It is a very nice city. For those who have never gone there, when there is winter, you don't need to come out of
Give Honorable Chepkonga 1 minute to be done, because I know he was easily distracted by the minority whip.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it. Mr. Speaker, when I visited that city, in fact, it was during winter, and you can walk around in Minnesota without coming down. You're walking on the ground. There are routes which have been created from one building to the other. And Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a very modern city. And for one of our own to be elected in a first-class city like that one, Mr. Speaker, we truly are very grateful. Two, Mr. Speaker, as you know, Minnesota is a twin city. Is a twin city with Eldoret City, Mr. Speaker. Before we became a city, we were already having a relationship with Minnesota. So, sorry, Mr. Speaker, I studied in University of Nairobi. So, you know, Honorable Mili should know, the only university that we had is the University of Nairobi. And Mr. Speaker, no problem. You went to the American University. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I want to congratulate the Honorable Momanyi. We don't want even to use the first name. We want to use the second name, Representative Momanyi. That, you know, that name itself, and coming from USA, Mr. Speaker, that is a feat. And I also want to congratulate Donald Trump. You know, Mr. Speaker, these are people who don't support LGBTQ like you and myself. Mr. Speaker, these are the group who are a problem. These are the group who are a problem. In fact, it is good that Trump won, so that Honorable Museveni, President Museveni, may have a breathing space, and their law becomes active in their country, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want us to go to the statement of Honorable Owen. We want to go into main business. You know, when you stand as a leader, the speaker has difficulties sitting you down. Can you make your statement in not more than 2 minutes? Because we want to go to main business.
I will do that. Honorable Speaker, I want to join to congratulate Hulda, who I met in Texas when we went there. And she's a fine lady, and she will carry the Kenyan flag high, and we wish her all the best. But I think it goes to that point, Honorable Speaker. She may have no influence at all on what happens in this country. She's been elected in a state legislature, not in the Congress of the United States. So her value is more to the people of Minnesota and Minneapolis, and therefore we need just to speak as much. You know, we are building hype and expectation on someone who just, you know, is like a member of a county assembly, you know, and that is what it is. That is what it is. Yes, a state legislature. So we know the value. So I want to say this, but I want to...
Honorable Dido Raso.
I want to say this.
Honorable Owen Baya, you will have your seat.
Honorable Speaker, the deputy leader of majority is standing in his place to cast aspersion on success of a lady in far waters. Is he in order to say that it is just a county assembly? That is not a Kenyan equivalent. That is the state of Minnesota, much bigger than the Republic of Kenya.
Yes, ma'am. Deputy Majority Leader, I know you want to withdraw that part.
Say this,
it's a big achievement for an immigrant.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, it is such a big achievement for a Kenyan to be elected at the state legislature. But I want to say this, you know, the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro keeps on saying things that cannot be empirically measured. The Republicans were in office. Africa, though may have favor, but Africans suffer. Africans suffer because the Republicans have a soft spot for African strongmen. They do not, Honorable Speaker, push for democratization of Africa. They support strongmen and dictators in Africa. And that is one. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, Republicans are known for a lean government. Lean government. Let me say, the Republicans are known for lean government, a lean government. Lean government means they will cut funding in education, they'll cut funding in health, they'll cut funding in social care. And these are facts, Honorable Speaker. These are facts. A Republican president in the United States means, therefore, although they will not give grants to Africa, they will be giving loans at very high rates, and the economies in Africa struggle. Economies, yeah, is this correct? Yes, economies in Africa struggle when we have a Republican in there. They will give you very expensive loans. They will stifle trade with China. They will ensure that no other country...
Honorable members, we are recording our compliments to a Kenyan who has won an election. We are not here to diagnose the policies of Democrats, Republicans. Really, you know how to approach that if you wanted to go that way. Can we have the Honorable Mulyungi?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not in the US. I'm on another subject. And I'll proceed on my subject. And I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy and Irrigation regarding utilization of funds allocated for sinking of boreholes in Mwingi Central Constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 44.2C, I wish to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding utilization of funds allocated for sinking of boreholes in Mwingi Central Constituency during the financial year 2023-24. This House allocated money for construction of boreholes across the country to alleviate the challenge of water shortage, especially in arid and semi-arid areas. This House didn't, as part of Parliament's endeavor to facilitate access to ordinary Kenyans to their economic rights as envisaged in Article 43(1)(d) of the Constitution of Kenya. Specifically, Honorable Speaker, the House didn't graciously provide funding for 2 boreholes, one at Kavoko Primary School and another at Kalesi Primary School in Mwingi Central Constituency. Each borehole was allocated 10 million, and the National Treasury didn't release the money to the implementing agency, namely Tanahadi Waterworks Agency. Of note, Honorable Speaker, is that this money was allocated following the area residents' outcry during public participation in Kitui County on the 2023-24 budget. However, Honorable Speaker, the implementing agency commenced the drilling of the 2 boreholes and then route to the point of finding water and abandoned the works before completion, citing lack of funds. Honorable Speaker, the area is very dry and residents usually walk 10 kilometers to fetch water from the few seasonal rivers, which also dry up during prolonged dry seasons like now. Hence, the boreholes would greatly have eased the residents' burden for searching for water. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I now seek a statement from the chairperson and in particular request for the following information. Number 1, why the implementation of the project was started without public participation of the local stakeholders and area residents who had in the first place requested the project. Number 2, why construction of the 2 boreholes was halted before completion despite full funding having been allocated by Parliament and released for the purpose of by the National Treasury. Number 3, when and how the boreholes were procured, details of contractors awarded the tenders, contract sums and scope of the contract. Number 4, when the exercise will be completed and whether this could be expedited to alleviate the challenge of accessing water by the area residents. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mulyungi, your request for statement is directed at which committee?
The chairperson for Blue Economy and Irrigation.
The chairperson for the relevant committee. Is Honorable Rosa Buyu in that committee? Give her the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to confirm that I'm a member of that committee. My chair is engaged somewhere and is not in the House, but I want to confirm to the House that indeed I will relay the message or the question to him and he will take due action as expected, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
By what time, Honorable Rosa Buyu?
Mr. Speaker, by the end of today, I will have relayed the message to him and he will therefore be able to...
By what time should the House expect the response?
Mr. Speaker, would I be in order to request for 2 weeks, Mr. Speaker?
2 weeks, Honorable Mulyungi?
That's okay, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, that's fine. Relay the message and let us have the
Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The statement request by Honorable Catherine Omanyo, MP. The Chair, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee is to respond. You have the response, Honorable Kirima. Do you have the response? Yes, I have. Yes, give Honorable Kirima the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On behalf of the Chairman of Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Affairs, Foreign Relations Committee, in response to the request for a statement by Hon. Catherine Omanyo, MP Busia County, regarding the status of the fishermen in Bundarangi, Kenya, Uganda border area. Mr. Speaker, sir, the member for Busia County, Honorable Catherine Omanyo, MP, sought for a statement pursuant to Standing Order 44, subsection 2, on the harassment, arrests, and detention of Kenyan fishermen by Ugandan authorities at the Kenya-Uganda border areas of Lake Victoria. She specifically raised the following concerns in a request for that statement. Steps being taken by the ministry with the government of Uganda to ensure that Kenyan fishermen in Lake Victoria are treated with respect and dignity, and that any disputes over fishing rights are resolved amicably and peacefully. B, statement, strategies put in place by the ministry to work with the Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization and other stakeholders to harmonize the fishing policies and procedures in the lake and to provide adequate support and protection to the fishermen, to the Kenyan fishermen. C, measures put in place to embrace security and sovereignty in the Lake Victoria and to collaborate with Ugandan authorities to prevent and punish any acts of harassment and extortion against Kenyan fishermen and by Ugandan authorities. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee engaged the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs on the above concerns raised by Honorable Catherine Omanyo, MP. I therefore wish to respond to the issues as follows. Honorable Speaker, on the step being taken by the ministry to engage with the government of Uganda to ensure that Kenyan fishermen in Victoria are treated with respect and dignity, and that any